All right, guys, you know I like nice things. I like to travel. And you can tell a lot about a guy by the shoes that he wears. And the type of shoe that usually comes up and stands out when people think America, it's a cowboy boot. Because cowboy boots are classy, they're elegant, you can wear them out, you can wear them while you're working, and it shows you're not afraid to get your shoes dirty when you have to. And that says a lot about the guy wearing them. And when you get a pair of cowboy boots, the one thing you want to do is get a pair of cowboy boots that both fits well and doesn't have to be broken in. I appreciate that. So a high quality pair of boots doesn't have to be broken in, and that's where today's video sponsor, Tecovas, is here to help. In every pair of Tecovas boots, you can expect premium quality and timeless Western style. These boots are made by hand in over 200 individual steps and are always made from premium cowhide and exotic leathers. Tecovas is known for their broken-in leather, so you don't have to worry about breaking in stiff or uncomfortable boots. If you get a chance to visit one of their stores, take advantage of their complimentary drinks, free boot shines, and get the perfect fit with their expert staff. Tecovas also offers complimentary branding and leather stamping if you want to personalize your boots or fine leather goods. So give them a try. There's a QR code on the screen. You can click on there, tecovas.com. You're not going to go wrong. If you like quality products, this one's for you. If you're a Walmart guy and you're looking for a $20 pair of boots, these are not for you. But if you appreciate a finely crafted piece of footwear that you don't have to break in and it feels good on your foot, it's got your name on it. And they come in different colors, styles. Check them out. You won't regret it. All right, guys, Rob Ferretti here, and in a pretty much mostly empty warehouse. That's a good thing. I've got 5 cars on their way to Vegas for this private event, and I just got back from Vegas. I was just in Vegas for SEMA. I'm selling them in Vegas when I'm done with them. I'm not shipping them back and forth. It was a little over $10,000 to truck them over there, but that was just part of making this event happen and making sure everyone was taken care of. Come back from Vegas, and I got 2 or 3 days before I go to Asia. It's tough travel week, but it's going to be a good time. You're going to see Rob Ferretti go to Asia, who's never been to Asia, doesn't understand anything about Asia, didn't do any research on Asia. It's probably going to be pretty entertaining. A little scary, a little anxiety inducing, but it'll be entertaining. But let's talk about SEMA, because I go to SEMA every year. I've been going to SEMA for 15 years now, and if not more, maybe 20 years. And I've seen it change over time. And there's big changes that you're seeing industry-wide, where auto shows are not a thing that people are excited about anymore, right? But SEMA is different, and I'll tell you why. Now, I don't think that SEMA has changed for the better, right? Because SEMA used to be an event, and it's always been, and if you're not familiar with it, it's specialty equipment and aftermarket stuff for vehicles, right? It's all the stuff that turned my Corvette up there from a bone stock Corvette into that thing. And that stuff, and even that Porsche's got aftermarket parts on it. It's stuff like that, my Supra up there, aftermarket parts. This is all stuff that was very prevalent because we love vehicles, and they make vehicles that in stock form aren't so great. But SEMA was always like a treasured thing. It was an industry trade show where people would display and generate business by showing their skills. It's changed over the years, and some ideas hit, some ideas miss. I remember the car lashes I thought was a terrible idea. The lights inside the wheels, like all this stuff that happens that may become a trend, may not become a trend. New turbo kits, new turbo performance, new performance parts from suspension, brakes, tires, everything is there. It's a huge show. It's probably one of the biggest shows in Las Vegas, or probably even the United States, or in the world, as far as trade shows go for any industry. But one of the things that's changed over the years is that it used to be something where everybody would bring these like buttoned up cars, right? Like your company is a failure if you show up and your car's not done, or there's something missing. You'd rather just leave your booth empty. Now, we got YouTubers. And it's not hard to spot YouTuber cars, because I want to almost give Rob Dom credit for starting this trend, but you push half a car in there and you're like, that's what we got. But because you have this social media following, everybody flocks to this. So now it's not the craftsmanship, it's the celebrity leading the build. And that's something I've known. And like, you walk through the show and you're like, all right, that's got to be a YouTuber car. Chris, B is for Build, had a Lamborghini that looked like a slapped together with like license plates or something like that. I didn't videotape it, I didn't think about it, but I'm like, oh, that's got to be a YouTuber car, and sure enough, it was. Lucky Lopez chopped up for Copart, I think. Copart are one of the sponsors. He chopped up a Tesla and was going to do an engine swap on it. And I'm like, dude, there's no way you're getting that car done in whatever the month that you think you're going to get it done in. And sure enough, like I go look at the car and I like Lucky, but like first thing I do is shake the seat, not bolted in. Nothing is bolted in. It's just like designed to be static and be like, the idea of it is cool, but the execution is not there. And that's something that if a company back in the day was building a car, that would wait till the following year, right? They would just go rent a Ferrari, throw it in the booth, put their products around it or something like that. That would be how the industry would treat stuff. They wouldn't be like, what the hell is this half a car? Like, why this thing, it looks like garbage. That has since all changed. Now, not everything has to be my taste, but that's how this thing has changed. And there's still these cars that are super quality that show up, but the show is now sort of missing what it used to be. It used to be this very dialed in and very like impressive show of what's going to come or what may come in the industry. Now it's sort of like a social thing, which is still cool. And why I say SEMA is different than other shows is because SEMA is good for us. Where regular auto shows, the New York Auto Show, a Chicago Auto Show, that was good for dealers. That was like before there was the internet and so much media that you consume to know what you're going to buy before you buy it. This was a chance for you to not have to go to 20 dealerships. You would just go to the auto show and like look at all these different cars and be like, oh, I get to sit in it, try it out, smell it, steal the shift knob. And that has since gone away. I think Geneva's canceled the show this year, and if not permanently. It just, the attendance is significantly declining. Not a lot of people are going. You're getting more and more like cars that are not exciting people. And you're losing manufacturers, and the manufacturers drive the show, and that's where you run into an issue. SEMA is different because SEMA is our knight in, it depends on who made it, but shining armor if it's made by a proper company, and rusted armor with holes in it and an arm falling off if it's built by a YouTuber. But at the end of the day, they are there as a lobbyist group effectively to help prevent all of us from being stuck driving Teslas. And there's nothing wrong with driving Teslas, but if you haven't experienced like a 458 or a Porsche or the NSX or any of these cars and the emotion and the connection, and if you're watching this, you like cars, like you like driving, whether it's a base Porsche or whatever it is, the industry has to preserve our rights to be able to enjoy cars. And the world has been moving away from that, right? It's like, oh, we need to make everything electric. We got to do this. You need 600 miles to the gallon. And instead of innovating with different fuel technologies, which I'm sure there are possibilities, it's just like, make everything electric. It's easier. We're building that infrastructure, or make it hybrid, or make it this, or make it that. And that takes away from the fun. There's laws against personalizing your cars. There's laws against, in various places, more so like California, can't make your exhaust louder, you can't do anything. And that's where SEMA comes in, because SEMA is out there defending the rights for people to keep their hobby. There's plenty of other hobbies in the world that are not so good for the environment, that are not so good for the world, but you're still allowed to do them. And that's where SEMA is there. That's where SEMA is going to exist and run long beyond all of these other shows, because it's both innovating technology and showcasing that, but it's also protecting our rights to keep doing what we enjoy doing, which is building and playing with cars and focusing on technology that makes everything safer, but also everything a little bit better, a little bit faster, a little bit more fun, while trying to navigate the laws and prevent laws that don't exist, like every car has to be electric by 2025, which I think is now 2030 or 32, and who knows, even that's being rolled back. Because manufacturers did that. They're like, all right, we're going to invest billions of dollars into making things electric. Why is nobody buying electric cars? All right, we're going to wind this back a little bit. And I'll tell you what, like the future is uncertain as to what the auto industry is. But at the end of the day, the consumers run the show. And having something like SEMA out there protecting us and looking out for our rights is really what's great about it. I've gone to SEMA now, as I said, like 15 or 20 years. I go for the social aspect. I go for, and I love bumping into all these people that I know out there and seeing some of the builds. It's not as many hypercars as it used to be. It's not as showy. It's not as crazy as it used to be, but you still see the trends. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff people do, because a lot of the stuff about SEMA is just making something ridiculous that's never going to run. I was more of a performance guy, in that, like, show me something that's going to make power, and I want to see it make power. When run Pikes Peak or do something like that, now we're making pickup trucks so they're 15 feet up in the air, which they've always done silly stuff like that. But those big monster trucks are silly to me. To see something where you've completely taken everything that's functional about a vehicle and made it no longer functional. I mean, we've covered that in the past. Anyway, so that's why SEMA is going to be around. SEMA is an industry show, so most people can't access that. It's not hard if you have any connection to the industry to get invited to SEMA, but there's also plenty of media surrounding SEMA to see some of these cool builds and see the atmosphere and the amount of people, and just the way Vegas gets taken over by all this car culture is actually very cool to see. And I look forward to going again next year. I used to make videos every year about stuff I liked, stuff I didn't like. This is more so addressing what SEMA is and why it's going to be the one industry trade show that seems to outlast every other major auto show that currently exists, because I think those things are dying like dinosaurs, and SEMA is going to be here for quite some time. Thanks for watching. Rob Ferretti. See you next time.